I just showed you the necessary ingredients for eroding freedom, and one of the keys, long-term, is education.
Oh, it's ridiculous, Glenn. They're not.
Really? Education's not controlled by the progressive agenda, or even by the administration? Really? Well, then tell me a little bit about this. Obama, through Organizing for America, has announced new internships at high schools. They are now recruiting our high school students to, quote, build on the movement that elected President Obama by empowering students across the country to help us bring about our agenda, end quote. Well, I want to make this very clear. You can intern for anybody you want. I don't care. You can be a Fox News intern for me all summer long. Some may call that indoctrination. Some may call that cruel and unusual punishment. That's fine. You want to intern or have your kids intern for the RNC, DNC? I don't care. Here's the problem with this. During the first, this is the actual form that your kids are handed at school, and they can fill out. During the first week in the curriculum, National Intern Organizer curriculum, suggested readings. Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. That's on the reading list in the first week. Now, if you want your kid reading this book, you're either progressive, a Marxist, or you don't know what's in it. Things like, don't worry about it, the ends justify the means. Really? Wow, I didn't learn that from my president, any other president. This is the second step in the Che indoctrination. First, you get the kids in the T-shirt, and then you're reading Saul Alinsky in school, recommended by the president. Maybe we should start printing Saul T-shirts right now. What do you say? Also on the list is The New Organizers by Zach Exley. Now, this guy is a 90s union organizer and fellow at the radical left-wing George Soros Open Society Institute. If you think that's okay, no, don't worry about it. This is the guy who brought us that new kind of politics that Obama is so high about. Oh, he just loves it. During the campaign, hey, let's just be good to each other. Yeah, Zach is the guy. The guy who wrote the second book that your kids are supposed to read is the one who came up with the anti-Bush slogan, just say no to a former cocaine abuser. Well, that doesn't really exactly sound like what Obama says he's for, and also not something I want my kids learning. Also on the list, the third book is Stir It Up, from the leftist activist Rinku Zen. Oh, I love Rinku and all of his works. I want you to know, if my kid is going in to be an intern for a campaign, and it teaches them about civics, duty, honor, standing up for things that are principled, learn more about our country and its founding, that's great. But if you're teaching my kid that the ends justify the means, that tearing people apart without evidence, without any kind of substance, something that they did in their past, and if you think that's okay, just smear them to get elected, as long as you win, I don't think America should be okay with that. Here's the real crux of this issue. You want to read the book? Read the book. You want your kids to read the book? Read the book. I have no problem with it. Serve for Obama. Do it. But how come this administration always dismisses people like Saul Alinsky? They dismiss all of these radical 60s influences, the Bill Ayers of the world, who, by the way, never apologized for the bombing of the Pentagon. In fact, he said he didn't do enough and is currently working in education. How about Saul Alinsky, a Marxist, who was passed off in the media just what, a year ago, year and a half ago? Oh, nobody pays attention. Oh, who is this guy? Since then, we find out that Obama loves him for the schools, and Chris Matthews has just said this.
Well, to reach back to one of our heroes from the past, from the 60s, Saul Alinsky.
Yeah, one of the heroes from the 60s. And again, Obama's Organizing for America sends this out for your kids. Read them. Oh, and it doesn't stop there, because it's not just if you want to be an intern. How about this one? The NEA has issued a new recommended reading on their website, Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. That's fantastic. The average American, are they with Saul Alinsky, the ends justify the means? Should the average American just blow all of these things off as unrelated coincidence that the government is training radicals instead of educating children? The original idea for public schools was to train people to be Americans, bring us all together, and teach our ideals. Wow. The ends justify the means? Are these our ideals? Is this an American ideal? Is this what's being taught in this video? Okay. Do you think we're raising new citizens pledging allegiance to the Republic How about in this video?
Because of Obama, I'm inspired to be the next architect.
Because of Obama, I'm inspired to be the next chemical engineer.
Because of Obama, I'm inspired to be the next entrepreneur.
Our children are not being trained to be responsible citizens, but campaign workers for a political icon and ideology. During the campaign, Obama Camp had Kids for Obama parades. The public school teachers more than once were caught indoctrinating children into the Obama cult. Do you remember this incident? This was caught on tape by a European documentary filmmaker.
And if you put up for John McCain, that's fine, say him as well. Obama. John McCain. Oh, Jesus, John McCain. Okay. And by the way, Kathy, the person that you're picking for president said that our troops could stay in Iraq for another 100 years if they need to. So that means your daddy could stay in the military for another 100 years.
Sure, you can say John McCain if you want to. Just know he's going to keep your dad in Iraq for 100 years from a teacher. This is heartbreaking, bordering on abusive, and definitely unacceptable in America. Our country demands that our Constitution and our founders should be taught. We need to start standing up and say original sources. The radical left, you know what, they'll find that themselves when they're smoking dope at college. Can we leave our kids alone? President Obama found his Marxist professors in the classes in college. Let's back off our children, shall we, Mr. President? Just a tad. We'll be back in just a minute.